Our next reader is the author of 3 books of fiction, including the novels The Misadventures of Sulliver Pong, and most recently, No Good, Very Bad Asian, forthcoming from CNR Press this month. His work has appeared in Salon, Catapult, Joyland Magazine, and Literary Hub, among other outlets. He runs the indie press 713 Books and lives in Brooklyn, and he also has books for sale right here. Put your hands together for Leland Cheuk.
This is by far one of the nicest microphones I've ever run into. Yeah. It's actually like going to be very difficult to follow the acts of Marco, Kat, and Dan Rat. So yeah, thank you, Eden and Andrew, for having me back to this great town. I'm going to read from No Good, Very Bad Asian, which is a novel about a stand-up comic, a famed stand-up comic, fictive, happens to be Chinese-American, and is named Sirius Lee. And and he's, and the premise of the book is he's telling the story of his life to his estranged daughter, which happens to be the exact premise. I mean, you know, Alice Wong's daughters are not estranged, but that's the premise of her book, Dear Girls, which is a series of letters to her daughters, and I'm seriously considering litigation. It's actually, I read it on the way here, and it's a super funny book. Highly recommend, Dear Girls by Ali Wong. And she likes all the same restaurants in the Bay Area that I like. All right. We'll get to it. As I reached puberty, the Lee women agreed on one thing. Something had to be done about my face. Mom hated the way I looked. I was chubby, my hair stuck up from multiple cowlicks. My acne was so bad that my mom got tears in her eyes whenever she stared at me too long. She spent the little money we had dragging me to dermatologists who did painful extractions and made me a lab hamster for Accutane and Retin-A. My mom would often say that no one would want to marry me unless I lost some weight and did a better job of washing my face. And now that your mom has left me, my mom has resurrected this talking point. Grandma distrusted American medicine, so she kept flushing my pills down the drain. She preferred to scrub my face with natural products Chinese people could vouch for. Chrysanthemum tea, warm water and ginger, lotus root soup. They fought over me. They fought over me like I was a Middle Eastern oil field. With them buffing my face like a truck, it was a miracle I didn't reflect sunlight. My future was the only thing everyone in the Lee Council could bond over. From the time I was in middle school to when I left home, entire dinners were spent debating what I should do when I grew up. Once he's old enough to work at the store, I'll teach him how to succeed in business, my dad said. Investment. That's how he pronounced the word, investment. Doctor, Grandma said. Lawyer, Mom said. Dad slapped the dining table. CEO. He thrust a finger skyward with each letter. My grandpa was a quiet man who absorbed with a sublime and distant grin every one of my grandma's insults. Rice bucket, deficient brain, and my personal favorite, professional airplane hitter, a euphemism for chronic masturbator. Sometimes he'd just say, suffer today so you can have a better future. That's what we do. He glared accusingly at Dad and Grandma. For generations and generations, that's what we have done. Dinners were when the adult Lees shared their hands-on love for the family business. They loved port wine. They went through a case a week. By the time I was in junior high, I knew from watching afternoon soaps that people didn't drink port for dinner, and they certainly didn't go through a bottle per person in one sitting. My mom was the only member of our family who limited herself to a few sips because she had to drive my dad to his 8 p.m. to 6 a.m. shift at Lee's Liquors. She was usually home and in bed by 9 because she had to get up before dawn to work the 6 a.m. to 2 p.m. shift before her brother relieved her. Eventually, I informed her that port was a dessert wine. What do you know about wine? She snapped. That's why it's sweet. I don't know who taught you that, she said. It's sweet because it's good. And you're only supposed to drink it from a small glass, I said, not giant plastic cups from 7-Eleven like you do. My mom was speechless for what seemed like a full minute. We drink it because it is healthy for adults. Even the whites think so. When they weren't planning my future, my family would make up stories about why America was the way it was. On why Mexico was poor, Dad concluded that no one could make big money selling tacos. On Bill Clinton's affair with Monica Lewinsky, Mom said that his infidelity showed that the president was born smart because naturally intelligent men deserve multiple wives, as exemplified by her grandfather, who had 4 wives and happened to be a scientist. On the Oklahoma City bombing, Grandma asserted that Jesus was in fact a living white man in hiding, sent from God to control American terrorists via telepathy. Even Fox News would have called my family's nightly hot takes total nonsense. Sometimes, after the rest of the Lees went to bed, I'd sneak out of our apartment and walk a mile to the South Pasadena metro station. I'd watch the light rail trains go by and fantasize about stepping in front of one. I knew from an early age that I was growing up in a pile of bullshit and that I could never be happy in that home. I learned how families were supposed to behave, not from my own, but from watching sitcoms. We were supposed to love each other no matter what. You were supposed to learn useful lessons from your parents. Home was supposed to be the one place on earth where you could do no wrong. There were nights on that platform when I closed my eyes and stepped close enough to the tracks to feel the whoosh on my face as the train passed. But when I imagined my parents screaming and crying over my dead body, I just couldn't bear it, and I'd step back. I'm glad I didn't have the balls to do it, otherwise I wouldn't have achieved my lifelong dream of becoming a comedian, and of course I wouldn't have had you. When I was 12, the old Chinese lady in the apartment next door croaked, and it turned out she was a hoarder. Our landlord hired a team of Mexicans to clear her tiny apartment, and in the hallway, I discovered that the woman had a treasure trove of used VHS tapes, including Rant in E Minor by Bill Hicks and Eddie Murphy's Raw. She was one of those ladies who went around collecting aluminum cans to recycle. Who knew she was into the funny? And Eddie Murphy's endless bits about the nature of ladies' private parts. Life is a self-published mystery. I stole those tapes, and when I watched Hicks in that black suit jacket and turtleneck, being smarter and funnier than everyone else, and doing that bit ripping parents for thinking their babies were special, even though children came from millions upon millions of sperm, I laughed harder than I'd ever laughed. I started stealing from my mom's wallet to buy stand-up CDs from the Tower Records near home. And then I sneaked them into my house in my baggy shorts like a prisoner hiding a shank. So my family wouldn't ask me any unwanted questions. Late at night, I'd plug headphones into the old Discman and listen to Strategic Grill Locations by Mitch Hedberg or Bigger and Blacker by Chris Rock. My living room and bedroom transformed into an imaginary comedy club where I wasn't a chubby, pimply teen suffocated by his family anymore. I was just another person in an audience. There's this Hedberg joke about a talk show featuring an inspirational story about a lady on TV born without arms. They said, Lola does not know the meaning of the word can't. And that to me was kind of worse in a way, Hedberg said. Not only does she not have arms, but she doesn't understand simple contractions. For a solid year, I listened to that joke over and over, and every time it made me laugh until tears fell. Comedians spoke truths I couldn't speak at home, and people laughed and felt okay about their disappointing lives. I felt okay about my disappointing life. Comedy saved me. Thank you.